Well, it's that time of year again, and it always begs the question, should cruisers be concerned? Should cruisers be concerned? We've got that, plus we've got a celebrity dropping their commitment to cruising. And it's an interesting one. There's a lot going on in cruising. Let's talk about it. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to La Lido Loga. Welcome to the Cruise Show. I am your host, Tony. I'm going to talk you through everything going on in cruising. It's everything going on in cruising. It's for your face. It's on the 13th of August, 2025, a Wednesday. Let's go. Right now, in the ocean, there is a storm churning called Erin. And all of the experts believe that this storm Erin, Tropical Storm Erin, will intensify and become a hurricane. And look, the Jason months, really the Jason months, June, July, August, September, October, and November. That's the hurricane season when it comes to cruising. And it's really about this time of year, August, all the way through early November, where the hurricane season really intensifies and it really starts to impact cruising. So in that vein, let's talk about this tropical storm Erin. There's still no certainty as to where this storm is going to go. Some models have it coming across the state of Florida. Some models have it turning to the north and going up toward Bermuda. And all of this speculation has cruisers who are going to cruise over the next week or so concerned. And I think it's a very valid concern. Carnival brand ambassador John Hill dedicated his 3-minute video today just to talk about this storm and whether or not Carnival would be canceling their cruises. He kind of described the approach that Carnival takes and a lot of cruise lines take, that no, they're not canceling any cruises right now. They continue to monitor the weather, and if worse comes to worse, they will alter the itinerary of cruises that are already scheduled to keep people out of the way of the storm. This is the way it works in cruising. Very rarely have I seen a cruise canceled because of a storm, but the most frequent thing that I see is a cruise altered because of a storm. So John Hill telling the Carnival faithful out there, the Carnival concerned, people who have Carnival cruises booked, that no, your cruises have not been canceled and most likely will not be canceled. More than likely, if your cruise will be impacted by Tropical Storm Erin or potentially Hurricane Erin, that your itinerary will most likely be altered. And while we've already seen it, not from Carnival Cruise Line, but we've seen Royal Caribbean make the decision to alter one of their cruises based on the projected models of Tropical Storm Erin. Passengers that are sailing on the August the 14th, tomorrow sailing of the Vision of the Seas out of Baltimore, 9-day cruise, supposed to go over to Bermuda. Then they were going to make their way south to Nassau, have some time at Perfect Day, Coco Cay. They've been notified that they're just going to go south. They're not going to go to the east to Bermuda first because the storm path shows it potentially later on in the week going up toward Bermuda, and they don't want to sell that ship through the storm. So they've been notified that their Bermuda cruise is no longer a Bermuda cruise. They picked up the very scenic port of Port Canaveral. That's funny. Normally we think of Port Canaveral as an embarkation port, but for passengers leaving out of Baltimore on Vision of the Seas, it will now be a port of call, where I don't know how long they're going to have in Port Canaveral, but you possibly could go over and do some attractions in Orlando. They're going to get a longer stay in Nassau, and then, of course, they're still going to have Perfect Day at Coco Cay. It's that time of the year where we're riding the storm out. Shout out Ludacris. I share this story really for the big reason that if anybody's new to cruising and they happen to be watching the show, it is kind of part and parcel for hurricane season that there's potentially going to be a lot of disruption of cruise itineraries. And you should know that when you book it, right? They almost should tell you. I mean, cruise companies aren't going to tell you, but wouldn't that be a solid, like if you are, putting in the dates, they would say, hey, look, hurricane season, traditionally, more than any other time, cruises get changed, the itineraries get changed. I don't think that'd be good business to do that, but that's what I'm doing. I'm ringing a bell. I'm heralding the fact that if you cruise during the Jason months or the Jason months, that you may potentially be on a cruise that is altered. How you feeling out there? Are you cruising during hurricane season? Are you worried about it? Yeah, I'm scheduled to be on Star of the Seas on the 20th out of Port Canaveral. That's a week from now, so potentially, hopefully, Aaron will have gone on by. But yeah, we'll keep an eye on it. Keep an eye on it. And speaking of Star of the Seas, they did one of those cool Maritime Traditions at Port Canaveral just the other day. They had their plaque exchange ceremony. I love so much of this pageantry that's involved with maritime vessels. The plaque exchange is as old as time. No, maybe as old as whenever Trophy Depot came into existence, where they can make those plaques. But what they do is when they go to a home port for the first time, say you have a new cruise ship, you go to a home port for the first time, officials from that port will meet with officials from the cruise company or officials from the ship, and they will make an exchange of plaques. And then somewhere on the cruise ship, you'll be able to see the ports of call that a cruise ship has gone to. Sometimes those are in public areas, sometimes not. But it's really cool because if it is in a public area, you can just go and stare on the wall and go, oh, this ship went to Curacao, or this ship went to Nanatorlik, or something like that. And so now, at least on Star of the Season, I'll look for it when I get over there. If they have the plaques on display, I'll look for the one that says Port Canaveral. So yeah, that's pretty exciting. And I guess since we're talking about Royal Caribbean and we're talking about milestones, let's talk about this one. This is a big one. Royal Caribbean International recently celebrated a milestone after hitting the 100 million guests sailed on board its vessels. 100 million passengers have sailed on Royal Caribbean International. They identified a family on the icon of the seas, the Duquette family from Parkland, Florida. They gave them a free cruise on Utopia. I mean, that's a short weekend cruise, but still, they gave him a free cruise on Utopia. And yeah, this it's a big deal. Royal Caribbean, currently 29 ships in the fleet, and according to Uncle Google, they started back in 1968, and now they've got the 100 millionth passenger. Congratulations to the Duquette family, and congratulations to Royal Caribbean. There's a sad story out there today about a 79-year-old passenger that went overboard on the Norwegian Star as it was making its way to Greenland. The story broke over on Reddit when passengers took to Reddit to say that they were awoken yesterday morning, Tuesday morning, to the alarm, to the calling out of Oscar, 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 which is the Overboard call out. Norwegian Cruise Line did issue a statement saying, "We are deeply saddened to confirm that one of our guests, a 79-year-old male, was reported to have gone overboard while the ship was sailing to Greenland. The appropriate authorities have been contacted and an investigation is ongoing. In consideration for the family and their privacy, updates will be shared as appropriate. Our thoughts and prayers are with the guests' loved ones during this difficult time." There's really not a lot more information out there beyond that. But another passenger overboard here in 2025. All right, now let's circle back around to the Star of the Seas and big news that came out yesterday afternoon. Like I said, I'm going on Star of the Seas on the 20th of August. And on the 20th of August, there was supposed to be a celebrity on board that was identified as the Godmother, that we're going to have like a naming ceremony. Well, word came out yesterday that Diana Ross, the Godmother of the Star of the Seas, is no longer going to be the Godmother. And apparently that was her decision. She decided she didn't want to do it. And so not a lot of explanation given as to why she didn't want to do it. But Royal Caribbean did issue a statement saying that they're disappointed that Diana Ross was unable to join us to be the Godmother of the Star of the Seas, and they look forward to announcing its new Godmother soon. I'm not sure what the selection process for a Godmother is, but there's only 7 days before what would have been the Godmother appearance. You know who they should call? Sophia Loren. Sophia, she probably wouldn't do it because she's loyal to MSC Cruises, but guess how many ships Sophia Loren is the Godmother of? I'll give you a second. It's more than 10. It's less than 50. 19. Sophia Loren is the Godmother of 19 ships. What was that old dice joke? Old Mother Hubbard lived in a shoe. She had so many children. That's a rough joke. We won't share that here. But yeah, Sophia Loren, the Godmother of 19 MSC cruise ships. And all we need is just one Godmother for the Star of the Seas. Who can it be now? Look, that's everything going on in cruising. Hope you're having a fantastic Wednesday. Subscribe for more cruising updates. And really, there's nothing left to do on today's show but dance. Let's dance. Get up. Get up.